When you take into account guys like Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Stephen A., do you believe OBJ is the best wideout in the game?
No, I do not. I think, and here's the thing, and I tried to explain this on radio yesterday. Odell Beckham Jr. deserved his money, and he deserved every penny of his money because he's worth it as a star in the media capital of the world. He literally is box office. You don't go to the NFL, to the stadium just to watch the Giants. You go to see what this man is going to do. I'm not questioning any of that. I just think that he does not deserve a penny more than Antonio Brown. So it's one of those situations where I'm thinking if he got $65 million guaranteed, Antonio should get $66 million guaranteed. That's how I feel about it because he is not Antonio Brown. His resume isn't Antonio Brown. His level of production is not Antonio Brown's. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have the skill and a comparable skill set necessary. I'm not saying it like that. But where Max and I part ways is that Max lots of times looks strictly at projection. Okay, here's where we are right now. Moving forward, that's what I'm paying you for. Well, damn it, the reason I'm considering paying you, the reason why we're in contract negotiations, the reason why we're having this discussion and this dialogue is because of what I've seen you do. And what I've seen Antonio Brown do year after year after year after year is be nothing short of spectacular over the last 5 or 6 years. That is the bottom line.
This is not an anti-Antonio Brown
I understand.
argument. Antonio Brown, as I said
and
often.
it's not anti-Odell Beckham Jr.
Right.
either.
Randy Moss in his prime was just different. Calvin Johnson, just different. I'm talking about since Jerry Rice, the GOAT, right? Those two guys have stood out. And Antonio Brown is putting up numbers that are comparable, basically, to a prime Jerry Rice. Nothing against Antonio Brown. Or Julio Jones, who's a beast. No problems off the field, nothing, just balls, right? And he has a lot of the same talent that Odell has, but he's bigger without the distractions.
Right.
All that said, Stephen A., a lot of it, the way you get paid in the NFL is projection. That's why running backs don't get paid. They're drafted, they're working on their rookie deal. If they're great, they get franchised once or twice. Ask Le'Veon Bell. And then they go, you're 28. You're only going to be good probably till you're 30. We're not giving you a long-term deal. Because the way the deals work is here's this huge amount of money. We're prorating it over this time. That's your signing bonus so we can stay under the cap. Yeah, it's $50 million, but it's really $10 million a year for 5 years. So it's only hitting us $10 million a year. So the longer your horizons that are likely, the more you're going to get paid. Now, I'm going to just forget about all that. I'm talking about quality of the player.
Yes.
You know why Mike Trout is in the conversation for greatest player of all time? Because when he was 21, he had one of the greatest seasons ever at 21. 22, same thing. 23. For his age, every year, he had a season that's like, that might be the greatest season anyone that age has ever had.
Right.
So eventually you turn 26, 27 years old, you're like, well, I mean, and then you're going to be in your physical prime. You're like, well, if every year he's in the running for the greatest ever at that age, at a certain age, maybe you're just the greatest ever. Odell Beckham was arguably the greatest receiver ever at his age as a rookie. He had one of the greatest rookie receiving years ever. Now,
I'm waiting.
He's 26 years old. Antonio Brown's 30. When he was 25, he was a better receiver than when Antonio Brown was 25. He's 26. At a certain point, he's just going to be in his prime. He's 4 years younger, so I can't prove it yet because he hasn't caught the passes in the playoffs.
Okay, well, I appreciate you acknowledging that you can't prove it.
I can't prove it yet. I'll make this one last point, and then it's all you. I don't care that it's a small sample size. I don't care why Odell dropped the passes. Odell has to catch passes in the playoffs in order for me to say, yeah, unequivocally, that's the best dude in the NFL at the position. He hasn't done that yet, but I am predicting he will. Right. And if you ask me how I feel, who do I really think and feel? The guy I want, I would say Odell over Brown and Jones.
My brother, I'm not knocking how you feel. You are entitled to your feelings. You're a sensitive lad. I totally understand it. I get it. More power to you, my brother. But the bottom line is this. Antonio Brown, 30 years of age, last 5 years, 110, 129, 136, 106, 101 receptions for a minimum of only one of those seasons was 1,284 yards. Every other season has been over 1,400 yards. This brother has been nothing short of spectacular while fighting for his money, okay? And in the process of fighting for his money, having a quarterback who's questioned whether or not he even wants to play anymore. Injuries.
I know.
You can't.
You are using the Steelers to count against Antonio Brown in an argument against Odell?
I'm sorry, I hear y'all interrupting me when I sat here and waited.
Go ahead.
Okay? Y'all are interrupting me. The bottom line is this. I'm telling you,
my little violin.
Ben Roethlisberger has been injured. Eli Manning has been an Iron Man. Consistency.
Oh, now Eli Manning's an Iron Man.
An Iron Man means that you're.
Yeah, I know what an Iron Man means.
Is that why you interrupted my point? Because Eli Manning is there every day. What's an Iron Man?
Please allow me because I want to smoke him in a second.
He's there every game.
Go ahead.
Continuity matters.
Tell me when.
Continuity matters. Le'Veon Bell suspended one time, injured another. The consistent element of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense has been Antonio Brown. The numbers speak for themselves. Playoff production and regular season production speak for themselves. We've seen one sample of Odell Beckham Jr. targeted 11 times, 4 receptions, 28 yards after the wrong decision to go to Miami. All of these things happen. So what I'm saying to you is this. If we're talking about the business of football, which you are popular for bringing up, and you talk about taking into account facts, I'm giving you facts.
Tell me when.
I'm not giving you emotion.
When?